Hello everybody, welcome back to another Toonkind at 12 FPS. Did I go too quickly?
No, I just realized that my mic was turned off from when I was back up recording last game, and I'm like, I should probably make sure that's on.
Yeah, that would help. That would absolutely help. Do you want me to stop
Yep.
and start again, or?
No, I'm good. It's on now. We can keep going and just have this in the intro, I suppose.
Technical difficulties out of the way before anything carries on. Hello everybody. My name is Whis. I'm playing Chifley Forde in this 12 FPS called Crystal Clear. And I'm joined by technical difficulties expert.
Candlestick. I am playing Crystal Everlight. I have currently got very little spoons, so this will be interesting.
I love you, Candle. It's good just to have some fun. Let's have some fun. Have some distant cousins meet and possibly yell at each other.
Yep.
We'll see what happens. So Chifley has very recently, and by very I mean in the last sort of couple of months, discovered that he has a technically second cousin and second cousin once removed or something like that, but we're just saying uncle and cousin.
And cousins.
Because
for simplicity.
It's easier, yes. Yes, one Dorian Trebleclef and Cassie Trebleclef, and has discovered that he has another cousin called Crystal. And thus far has a very poor first impression of Crystal because the first time that he really heard anything about what kind of person she was from Cassie, who was crying in his arms about how she'd kind of abandoned her, wouldn't support her. And Chif has opinions about how an older sibling should treat their younger sibling. And it's not that. So while he's still sort of struggling with the whatever is going on with him at the moment, he has made it a personal mission of his to track down this Crystal, who Cassie has said is apparently kicking around in Toontown somewhere, and has managed to get her address from Dorian. And so he's just going to rock up. And
I did want to ask, how is Chifley doing today, given how he's been recently?
Let me do a con save and let's see. Fuck.
I mean, that's in the nuts and bolts gallery if you want to discard it.
Okay, yep. I was in the wrong zone. All right, cool. Come on, Chif. Please do better.
We're gonna ignore that too.
It was in the wrong place, so I'm gonna ignore it. Please be let it. Yeah, okay.
19.
Jesus freaking.
The duality of the dice.
Yep. One off perfection in both directions. Wowza. Okay. He's pretty okay. Like, he might have a little bit of a headache, but, like, nothing distracting or debilitating, or whatever that word is. Nothing that's going to stop him from doing the things that he needs to do.
Very good. He's a man on a mission today.
He's a man on a mission today because, like, he quite likes Cassie, and the fact that he had her in his arms crying is a big deal.
I love him so much.
So, yeah, he's just gonna rock up on her doorstep at the apartment and give a knock.
Alright, I should probably roll perception for her. What is your perception? Ah, yes. Oh, yep, no, she hears.
Yes.
Yep, she definitely hears that. Yeah, you do get a... One moment. and then like the sound of footsteps before the door is opened, and yes, standing before you is like just very slightly taller than you is a stained glass toon.
And Chifley is going to be a bit encouraged by that because I imagine that there are photos and stuff that he has helped Dorian and Cassie pack up from the house in Happiest Place to move into their apartment here in Toontown. So he
Oh,
kind
for
of get the
sure.
idea of, okay, stained glass, we can work with that. And so when she opens the door, he's like, okay, I've got the right apartment, that's good. Um, I'm sorry to drop in unannounced, but would you happen to be Crystal Trebleclef?
uh, she had been sort of opening her mouth because I think she was first assuming that you might be a potential client and was going to be like, I'm sorry, I'm not seeing people today. And then blink, sort of shut her mouth, and then it's like a very hard line and she straightens, and I don't go by that name anymore. I'm Crystal Everlight.
Chifley's going to make a mental note of that. My apologies. My name is Chifley Forde. We haven't met, but we are related.
Another blink.
Chip has no tact. He's just like straight up. Okay, here you go. Here is the lay of the land.
Then because she also has no tact. Since when?
Well, apparently since always. Your father, Dorian, correct?
There's another downturn of the mouth. Correct.
He is cousins with my father.
Um, would you like to roll insight on Crystal?
I would be delighted to roll insight on Crystal. Chifley! That's garbage! Dude! The thing that you're good at, and you fail me!
To be fair, you don't know this person very well. You're not
True.
sure you want to know this person very well. And, but that's still enough to her expression did definitely darken at when he asked about whether Dorian was her father. Um and now she's sort of making a bit of a right, fair enough. Of course, sort of like, resigned, this might as well happen sort of face.
Oh dear, fair enough. I realize this is probably not the best way to find out information like this. But I did need to talk to you.
Well. And she's like sort of like humming and hawing, like, this wasn't what I wanted to do today, but then just like a sort of sigh and, all right, come in. And she'll like open the door for you so you can enter her small apartment.
Thank you. And he's going to come in, and the first thing he's going to do is look around to see if this is a no-shoes apartment. Because his apartment is a no-shoes apartment.
Yeah, it's it is though okay, so the thing is, and I don't know how to explain this, but it definitely was, but then like she also kind of has shoes because she has been uh abducted from her apartment by an over-enthusiastic three-headed bird tune a few too many times without her shoes.
Okay. Well, I think Chifley will just wait and see whether or not he is prompted to take off his shoes, but otherwise he will leave his very complicated to take off boots where they are for the minute.
I think she will. You may take your shoes off if you want. It. I've become more flexible with that recently.
You can just sort of look down at his boots, and because his boots are even though Bob very kindly bought him some nice shoes that actually fit him, he still typically wears his normal sort of just above his knee high boots, which are second hand. They were made for someone significantly less skinny than him, and so in order to keep them up, they're actually tied on with some blue fabric, and they're
Chifley, darling.
more of a pain in the butt to put on than take off. But he'll just sort of look at his boots, and then he'll just nod. If it's all the same, I may leave them on.
Yep, she will nod, and then can I get you anything? Water, tea? I don't know if we have food at the moment, but I will check.
It's fine. I am not sure how long I will be.
She will shrug, and then I suppose gesture to the table.
And he'll go and sit down.
She might she's like, oh right, and then just like shift all of her research and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You're welcome to make a perception check if you'd like to have a look at any of it, though.
Sure. What's your perception? What is your perception? Why can I never remember your perception? It's a +5. Okay. 13.
13. Yeah. You probably do recognize some things. Like there definitely seem to be some, like, because you work at the ECCR, so you probably come across like patient record sheets and things like that before. So perhaps that's like a recognition and then not really looking further because that's patient confidentiality, and then the rest of it is fairly scientific and maybe a little harder to figure out.
Yeah, there's a difference between medical science and like medical like practice, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that's what Crystal was telling Rye anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Like she she does research. She's not a doctor. She can't uh like she has no bedside manner. She
That's one way of putting it.
she's like she can't do um she can't diagnose people. She can't do any surgeries or anything like that. Like she doesn't have that sort of knowledge, but yeah, like she's got a lot more of the like science behind how they work and things like that.
Yep. He's just gonna nod a little bit as he sort of recognized what this all was. But he's going to be polite and not say anything.
Yeah, she probably does mutter, sorry about the mess. I wasn't expecting company today.
He'll shake his head. That's fine. It was a bit of a gamble on my part if you'd even be here.
Yes, I'm usually here.
Good to know. I'm afraid that I have no intention of being particularly subtle about why I'm here. So if I seem rude, I do apologize. But I'm here about your sister.
Okay. Yeah, I will. I think I will make this. Mm,
16.
yep. Her shoulders do stiffen slightly, but other than that, you don't get much of a reaction from her at that.
Mm-hmm.
Probably you're not the first person to come around being like, "Hey, I met your sister."
Mm-hmm.
Um, so she's, I guess, a little bit more prepared this time, as she will sort of give you like a fairly um unreadable expression as she's straightened up, but you have got her full attention.
Chifley's gonna wait just a moment or two to see whether or not Crystal says anything in response to that before continuing. I can only assume that you knew about her performances that she was doing. And I've come to ask why you didn't go.
Okay. Um, there there is actually a definite blink there. And then a wait, she performed? When? Where? What what was it? Did it go well? What role did she get?
There's a blink? Uh, Chifley was expecting some excuses, but not this. Let me. He's just gonna do another insight.
Mm-hmm.
13. It's better than before. It's better than a 9.
Mm.
But he's looking for any kind of hint of putting this on, but he's also trying to listen to the soundtrack to see what of her theme he can hear.
Um. Okay. Well, it seems genuine. There's definitely her probably because you're trying to listen to her soundtrack. It's she doesn't have uh she's got a fairly hard to pin down soundtrack.
Mm-hmm.
Which is probably why it's difficult. Because it's complex, I will say. Like there
Mm-hmm.
are a lot of different parts that are sort of always playing. You know, there's that constant drive and like um hidden uh oh god, I'm just like there's the drive and anger and like grief sort of that's sort of constantly there no matter uh what
Mm-hmm.
and then there's also like a bit of a more clinical like curious overlay uh and then there's like the stuff on top of that which is what she tends to feel at the in the moment, which is why it can be very difficult to pin down.
Mm-hmm.
um but it uh she seems to be telling the truth.
Mm-hmm. He's gonna stop and then. Oh, what was the play? Was it the Nutcracker of Swan Lake? Is that what you called it?
I think that's what I called it, yeah.
Yeah. Uh, Chifley's gonna tilt his head to one side and frown slightly. She had the lead role in the Nutcracker of Swan Lake production that was recently.
uh might roll a history.
He'll also give the name of the theatre and the date that the opening performance was.
um okay, so that's a 16. I think she doesn't uh like she doesn't know it off by heart, but like as you mention it, she can sort of pull out a newspaper and sort of flick to the right section and sort of like looks at it. Yeah.
Mm.
But yeah, she's just... Oh.
Oh. That's all you have to say.
What do you want me to say? This is the first I've heard of it.
Chifley's frowning a bit. She said she sent you an invitation. That she wanted you there. Did you not know?
I haven't heard from Cassie since our argument a year and a half ago.
Seems very different to the information I got from her.
In fact, would you like to roll a history?
I would. History is not his strong suit.
Oh, that's a nat one.
Why do I open my mouth before I hit the enter key? Why? I cursed myself to a nat 1. No, it's not his strong suit. Far out.
I think you should have advantage on this one
Okay.
because...
Dice passer, don't. Okay, thank you.
Alright, that's a lot.
That's an 18! Oh, jeez.
Because, Chifley, you've known Cassie for a while now.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know that she writes letters to everyone on a pretty frequent basis with a lot of information about where she's been and what she's been doing. And you might not have, she might not have talked about Crystal before this, but you definitely got the impression when you were talking to her that this is not the first letter that she'd sent to Crystal.
I'm gonna roll him in intelligence, something or other. Straight intelligence? Investigation? Nah. Just straight intelligence, that'll do. D20 plus.
Oh, darling.
What the fuck?
It's another nat 1.
What is another nat 1? Dice passer, you piece of shit.
Dice Passer doesn't like you today. Be nice, Dice Passer.
I mean... That's... Oh, shit. Oh, that's bad for so many different reasons. Oh, okay.
Oh.
That tracks, though. Oh, fuck. Hold on. I have to find out what that does.
Okay.
1 sec. Stand by. Where is it? I gotta Google it. What happens when that happens? Fuck. I wasn't expecting to have to do this. Oh, okay. Freaking great. Okay. I have to make a whiz.
Oh, no.
Luckily, he's a whiz caster, so this is his best save. Please don't let me down. What's the DC? Nah, that's not high enough. Oh, good. Freaking fantastic. Chifley. Why?
Chifley just can't get a break.
6. No, not 336. 3d6. Okay, so obviously Chifley is trying to think so hard about this. Fuck me sideways. He just takes 11 points of psychic damage.
God.
Ow!
Can I roll something to as Crystal to figure out that something's happened?
Yes, but he's rolling a deception.
Okay.
Oh, we rolled fine on that. Okay, that's a 17 with a deception.
Insight, or can I roll a medicine, or would I have to roll an insight?
I think because he's hiding it, you'd have to do an insight. Yeah.
All right. I'll do an insight then.
Wow. Crystal.
Okay then.
All
Wow,
right.
that's a nat 20.
Cool. Great. So yeah, Chifley, he's taking in what you're saying. He's considering you very carefully. And you'd think that he is now hiding the world's worst migraine that has come on really suddenly. Like, there's little tenseness to, like, his facial muscles and, like just the way he's sort of clenched his fists ever so slightly. Like, his whole body's kind of gone tense in order to not completely lose the plot. Jesus freaking... Oh. And that was a relatively half-average roll on the damage, and my dude, that was actually like a third of his health.
Oh, no.
Like, that tracks real well that she's able to just, because like she knows medicine stuff too, so like she's just seen him sort of, he hasn't moved, he's managed to keep his facial expression very, very, like, exactly the same, but she can just tell from the way he's sort of now very, very tense that he's in a not insignificant amount of pain, but is choosing to ignore it.
Are you alright? And I'm just trying to think whether she would have something on hand that could help, because she definitely doesn't have any spells that can help.
I mean, up to you. Does that do anything else?
Like, I imagine she does have, like, you know, the in universe equivalent of Panadol.
Yeah. Your fantasy pain relief, yes. I mean, Chifley's got it at his place. I imagine it's part of your normal fantasy first aid kit.
Yeah, so I think she will, like, get up and, hold on, I have some stuff that might be able to help. And she will go to the kitchen and pull down the... Actually, I should probably make her do an investigation, because as much as she organizes her kitchen, she's not the only one using it at the moment.
No, and I can't say that they, between the three of them, are anything remotely resembling organized. No. I don't think anything else in this actually takes effect. That doesn't make sense to be in effect. Okay, I think I'm good with that. I'm just going to leave that tab open just in case.
I am so very concerned. That's a 19. And that makes sense.
Oh, jeez.
That makes sense because I think I did say her apartment's gotten a renovation recently, and there is this god awful ugly tile in the kitchen, and behind it is a cabinet which she has used to hide things from Eeny, Miny and Mo, such as
snacks,
the medicine, and things that they definitely should not be getting into. You know, there are some snacks in there too. I think she has some secret, her favorite teas and stuff in there as well.
given how one of them eats, yeah.
So yeah, she's pulled out some pain relief and gotten Chifley some water, and I think she has put the kettle on. You know, I think they could both use some tea.
Yeah, fair enough. I am going to... What am I going to roll? I'm going to do another whiz save to see how stubborn Chifley is going to be about this. Nah. He's like, when he's presented with the water and the pain relief, he's going to be visibly disappointed in himself. He thought he had a handle on this nonsense. He thought he was having a good day. But apparently not. But so he will just sort of stare at it for a little bit, but then he will take it.
You do get a. Does this happen often?
Every so often. But I have an appointment booked to see a doctor. So it's being taken care of.
Yeah, that's sort of enough. There was definitely a little bit of a edge that sort of like has softened a little bit at that. Yeah.
Mm.
And she nods. Um, and then sort of probably is standing a little bit
Mhm.
awkwardly, like, you know, probably fiddle with her necklace. Like, she isn't. She isn't sure how to continue this conversation. Like,
Mm.
yeah.
Chifley is gonna take the pain relief and sip his water, and he's gonna drink half of it very slowly before he pipes up again. Have you really received none of her letters?
And she shakes her head. Uh, she does look a little bit ashamed. Like, um, I I thought she was mad at me.
Why? If she wasn't before, she's definitely now.
I was, and she like runs a hand through her hair, and I was stupid, scared. I didn't want her to go. I I said things I didn't mean, and then I didn't know how to take them back.
Hmm. Words can't always be taken back. But you can always give new ones.
Yeah. How?
Crystal, I had her in my arms, crying her eyes out over you not coming to her performance.
You don't need an insight roll on
Mm.
that. She looks devastated. Like, there's definitely the sort of the wince and ooh, I've messed up.
Mm-hmm.
But like also like, you know, that sort of conflicted look of God, what do I do now? Sort of, because there's definitely parts of her that are still think she's right, but also God, she did that to her sister,
Mm.
and she's just gonna just drop into the seat and just yeah, head in her hands like
Mm.
uh,
I know we've only just met, but what were you fighting over?
she she wanted to go explore the world. And I you gotta understand, it's how much How much do you know of our family history?
Not a huge amount. I know that your mother is no longer on this side.
And she will nod. Um, um, our mother, her passing was not a natural thing.
Chifley will nod in a, yeah, not in a yes, that's correct kind of way, but in a okay, I understand. Yep. kind of way.
She got hurt. And, like, her fists clench, and she looks really angry. My father and they were exploring, and she got hurt, and I didn't want that to happen to Cassie. I couldn't let that happen to Cassie. So we thought about it.
I do understand. My father went on tour, leaving us at home, and he didn't return. However, would you not think Cassie would be in more danger taking off on bad terms with anger in her heart than if she was going with your support and well wishes? Or better yet, your company.
And the do you want to roll another insight?
Sure. Chiff. His head hurts.
Oh, yeah, fair enough.
My head hurts. God damn.
Oh,
Dice passer, you pain in the ass. He's doing it to me yesterday too. I rolled so badly in my FPS yesterday.
Oh, Dice Passer is bullying you. Stop it.
Mm-hmm.
Um. Sorry. Uh. Yeah, I think all you get with that is there's a sort of sullen expression. Um. And and she's just like, oh, didn't. Rather she didn't go at all. She's sort of like looking away.
I understand that too. My younger sister wants to do more than she's capable of. But the difference between my sister and Cassie is 14 years. I'm sure she's very capable. She's hasn't hurt herself yet.
It's not her capability I'm worried about.
It's the rest of the world.
And there's a sigh and a nod.
Having been the primary carer of my sister for nearly 2 years, I understand. We want to protect them when we're not sure what they're going to be up against. But keeping a hold of them too closely breeds resentment. I'm very fortunate now that Dorian is coming to stay with Missy and I to help look after her and be the parent we no longer have, so that I don't lose my relationship with my sister.
There's a bit of a derisive snort in her. At least he can do some things right.
Chifley's going to arch a brow at that but not comment. It would be his shame for you to lose the relationship with your sister fully. Have you tried to be in contact with her at all?
No. and she does look. She definitely looks ashamed of that. Like, there has been there's been a bit of a hard expression, like a hardness to her expression up until that point. And then it sort of leaves as she does admit that there is a lot of things that she could have done differently, and she's not going to be easily swayed on the topic of whether or not Cassie should be out adventuring. But she does look ashamed that she hasn't attempted to reach back out to her before now.
I know her. She writes letters to everyone and anyone she's met constantly. So she's been trying. I don't know where she's sending them if you haven't been getting them. But she is trying. And she does want to see you.
Yeah. Okay. I don't understand. Yes, I have moved, but what? Surely that many letters shouldn't. Suppose that's something I will have to look into.
In the meantime, it might be worth mending a bridge.
Yeah, you're probably right. She won't understand fully.
Why not?
She can't. She. She doesn't know what it was like.
And why not tell her?
It's not that simple.
Then what is it? If there's something going on that is impacting her and you and Dorian, it isn't worth keeping it a secret.
How does she respond to this?
She probably doesn't need to roll an insight or anything at the moment, but Chifley thinks that she's being a bit of a twat about the whole thing.
I mean, he's not wrong. But also, this is particularly a point that she is extremely stubborn on, and you can see it in her expression. Some things you have a younger sister. You said.
That's correct.
How much information do you share with her?
Really depends. Some things I tell her, sometimes in less detail than I would tell someone else. But she's a lot more resilient than I give her credit for a lot of the time.
But you still keep things from her.
I wouldn't put it that way. She is young. She's almost 6. Cassie is 19.
Some things are better off not being known.
Some things we wish we didn't know. But for it to make you not want her to go out and do what she wants to do with her life, it's not an insignificant thing. Not as simple as her just being in danger.
There is a slight like she's conceding the point, but she still looks stubborn.
Does your father know what this
is? Of course he does. It's his fault.
How so?
Because he was reckless and stupid and didn't think about the consequences of his actions or how they would affect other people. It's just
Chifley is giving her a very expectant look. It's like, go on with his expression.
Look. And I'm trying to find words for this, like... The old man knows what he did. I will give him that much. But that doesn't undo what has been done.
Knowing something is only part of the solution.
Yeah, well, it's not a lot that he can do.
Then why must it be kept secret? What if there's something that Cassie can do?
Knowing there's nothing Cassie can do. I'm the only one who might have the ability to do something about it. And her knowing will only bring her more hurt. And I think she's sort of like
Mm.
I think maybe like the kettle's boiled at this point, and so she sort of like stands up stiffly to go
Mm.
um like deal with that.
Yep. While she's gone off to the kitchen, has she just sort of shoved all of her research and stuff off to the side, or has she put it away?
I think she's probably shoved it to the side.
Okay. I would like to roll something and hope that it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't backfire on me, and I'm wondering what I should roll for Chif to look at all of this extensive medical science mumbo jumbo and be able to piece together that it's got something to do with some sort of medical condition.
Um, yeah, probably I would say it's gonna be an intelligence-based one, I'm afraid.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm thinking either medicine, arcana, or investigation.
I'm going to go with medicine, and I'm going to yell at Dice Passer. Don't be a twat, please. Dirty 20! It works!
Just yell at Dice Passer until it behaves.
Yeah, exactly.
Alright, that was medicine, was it?
It was.
Yeah, okay. Was there. Okay, just to give me a little bit more to go off of, was there anything in particular he's looking for?
He's like, I think Chif's cluey enough to sort of get the idea that whatever she's researching, is what she researches just straight up because of the quantity that was on the table there. So he's kind of trying to see whether or not, first of all, if there's any like common theming between what she's researching and whether or not he, based on what he can see, it's intense enough research for that to possibly be what it is that Crystal is being so stubborn about.
Okay. I can give you a few things with that. First of all, you probably don't get all of it, but you get an idea quickly that this covers a very broad range of things.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's definitely just not just focused on one area, but like there is like you have uh some research into curses and deities and myths and legends of different places like uh Toons, Fae, and Real Kind. You have all of it is magical in nature.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and a lot of it seems to focus on conditions like ailments. So you have more basic things like your common Toon ailments. I can't remember them off of the top of my head
Things
right.
like Hanahaki. Or what else is there? Let me just pull the wiki up. Magical
Yeah.
strain, misclaria, extreme design overstrain, film grain, very common.
Yeah, yeah, all of those sort of things that particularly the ones that don't have a known cure, that it's got them, but it's also got people who have had curses from magical like powerful magical entities, your fairy tale curses, and you have uh, you have people who have been affected by magical surges and things like that. That's like the sort of general gist you're getting from her research.
Like
And
lycanthropy, vampirism, all of that kind of stuff.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
and like particularly each of them has symptoms, duration, things like that, and they've sort of grouped into categories and trying to find common threads.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's like the very broad range of what everything that's here.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I will give you with that nat dirty 20 that you get two well you get one extra thing
Mm-hmm.
is you do actually come across two sets of records that on this table that you recognize the names and the pictures of.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them is Cassie's,
Mm-hmm.
and in that is medical records that go back, um, particularly from the ages of 0 to 10, but also some from that point, like
Mm-hmm.
right up until there's nothing past 17.
Okay.
And the other one you get is you recognize her from the photos you've seen from Dorian's stuff
Mm-hmm.
that looks looks like she looks a lot like Crystal in that she's got that same sort of stained glass pattern to her design, but she's got coloring that's a lot closer to Cassie's, and also she has a pair of wings like Cassie does.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, this is
It's their mum.
you can guess is their mum,
Yeah.
and it's got records for her as well.
Interesting. Chiff is going to be very nosy about about those personal records. Like he's not going to be reading every last little line, because that's kind of rude. But like he's going to just quickly skim it to see if there's anything that particularly jumps out at him.
Mhm.
Do you want me to
Mhm.
roll another medicine for that one?
Yeah, if you
Okay.
could please. 13.
13. That's okay.
Okay, not quite as good, but um yeah, okay. What I can give you for that is mostly probably in the mother's stuff is easier to pick out pieces of, is that there is definitely a across the records there is a noticeable emphasis on a magical drop uh, in uh like in her like natural magic levels, as
Mm-hmm.
well as the term inspiration drop um in a few of them.
Oh, I regret making that ailment. It's come back to bite me so many times. Oh dear. Yep.
um or at the very least similar to Inspiration Draught. It's not quite the same. Cassie's are a little harder to pass through because, for one, there's a lot more of them.
Mm-hmm.
And for two, it's kind of hard to figure out what exactly they're looking for. Because they just seem to be a lot more general, but there is again that emphasis on magic levels.
Right. Huh. Okay. I'm now going to roll Chifley a deception. Deception? Stealth. Which would be funnier? It's the same modifier. 12. 12 is average. That's fine.
Oh god.
I think Crystal might have to roll to contest to see whether or not she realizes that her new cousin who's just rocked up on the doorstep is going through her shit.
Yeah, I think I will roll her an insight, I think. Insight or perception, it doesn't really matter, they're the same modifier.
Oh yes, easily. Absolutely.
I think there's just she comes back with the tea and it's just like, I didn't know what you liked, so what are you doing?
And he just sort of looks up and then looks back down and then looks up and looks back down and who just put it back down on the tabletop where it came from. And he doesn't say anything.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'm going to roll something. Alright, let's see how this goes. Okay. Alright. She doesn't lose her temper. Because if that had been low, she would have. I'm just like, you would have gotten get out.
Yeah, fair enough.
But no. She's not losing her temper. She does look very angry.
Mm.
But I think she will put the tea down on the table, maybe with a bit of a harder clack. And then she is pulling her notes away from him, and they're getting tucked into her hammer space. And then, what did you see?
Enough to come to some conclusions.
God, I have no idea how she's gonna react to this. Because,
Chif can keep talking, if that helps.
Because she doesn't want him to tell Cassie, but she's also like, if she says that, he's going to ask why.
Yep. So I think while she has this internal debate, Chif's just going to keep talking. Is the reason you didn't want her to go exploring because of this medical thing? Because I've seen firsthand how heartbreaking that could be for the other person.
It might be.
From everything you've got here, Is it too hard of a stretch to suppose you've heard of a condition called cirrhosis?
Can I roll something for that?
Yes, you can, particularly because it is not on the wiki. So,
I'm like, I haven't heard of that.
yes.
What? I'm
Probably medicine. It's also
medicine.
spelled like that.
All right. Okay. No.
No.
I don't think she has.
Okay. She has not looked at that particular book. I really should put it on the wiki, shouldn't I? Maybe later.
She's sort of like pinning you with a stare, like, but it's obvious that no, she hasn't. And so, like, she looks a little bit frustrated that she hasn't heard of this thing, but she does shake her head.
Cirrhosis is a hereditary chronic condition which makes the sufferer more susceptible to other ailments. It is something my mother dealt with from the day she was born. And because of it, she was never allowed to leave our home. She had to stay put. And so, when my father went on tour, she was left behind with the two of us. And she died from it. Alone. Without her husband there. Because she couldn't go with him. There are enough people in this world who know magic for healing. And whatever this is with Cassie, I can't see why you would refuse her if she had the right support. Because it doesn't seem like she's got anything as severe as cirrhosis. In fact, she seems quite well.
And I think she just sits. Cassie's is... We don't know if or what effect it has on her. It could be nothing. It could be worse. It just... I can't go through that again. Not with my baby sister.
Chif's gonna reach out and attempt to just give her a small pat on the arm. Forcing her away is going to lose you, your sister. Far greater effect than whatever this is. Because losing her on good terms versus losing her on bad terms. I can tell you which is worse.
Okay. Okay, I don't know where to start. I still don't know if this is something I can tell her.
If it's something that you've been desperately trying to keep from her for a very long time, it may be hard. Hard to bring it up, hard to explain all the intricacies, at least at first. But from what I've heard from Cassie, that may not be your priority. I'm gonna make him roll his hammer space. Cool! Not a fumble. He's gonna reach into his pocket, and he's gonna pull out a stack of regular letter paper and an envelope and a pen, and he's just gonna put them on the tabletop and slide them towards Crystal. Starting with your relationship, it's gonna make the other part easier.
Alright. I don't know if I'm going to be able to bring up this. And she sort of gestures at the table where the stuff was before. Yet. But you're right. I need to fix this.
Chifley's gonna nod. I'm gonna get him to roll. Actually, I'm just gonna say that he got out 2 pieces of paper. He's gonna grab that pen and he's gonna write down his address. And I'm going to say that he knows the address of the apartment where Cassie is staying in Toontown at the moment. So he's gonna write that address down as well.
Okay.
I don't know how well you keep in contact with your father, but
there's a snort and a very frown. You get the impression that she does not.
Fair enough. But he has moved in with my sister and I at this address. And for the time being, Cassie is staying here. And he slides the paper towards her.
Alright. And I also wanted to roll something because there was a piece of information I picked up earlier and I want to see if she's put some things together.
Okay. It's above average.
Okay. You mentioned when you mentioned Xeroxis.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned it was hereditary.
Yep.
I think she might pause while she's looking at this stuff and sort of, I guess, glance up. This Xeroxis. You said it was hereditary.
That's right.
Does it have anything to do with your migraines?
Chip's actually going to sort of sit back a little bit as if he didn't consider that. I wouldn't think so. These are newish.
Right. Sorry. I'm... you could say I've spent a lot of time looking for these sort of things.
He nods. I'm not hugely unfamiliar with these sorts of things. I work at the ECCR.
I'm honestly surprised we haven't run into each other there before. It's... I don't go there too often, but it's not a place I'm unfamiliar with.
And he nods. We get a lot of people through. And it is a big place.
Guess I can't put this off anymore, huh?
I wouldn't. Even if you could. Cassie tries to put on a brave face. But it came to the point where she just couldn't keep it inside anymore.
She definitely winces at that. Never wanted her to have to do that. Just wanted her to not have to worry about it. To get the chance to be a child.
I can understand that too. But she's not a child anymore. And all she knows, all she can see, is an older sister who isn't responding to her letters, who didn't support her at her performance. Even if that's not your fault, that's what she can see.
Yeah.
There's someone else she knows, who apparently knows you. I'm not sure who. But she was heartbroken to find out you were in Toontown. And still didn't come.
That would be talk. Trust me, they've been here already. That's how I found out she was here.
I'm gonna have Chif go into his hammerspace again. Yeah! Chif is going to do a kindness. In a roundabout way. He's going to reach back into his pocket, and he's actually going to pull out one of the posters from Cassie's performance. And I'm picturing that it's kind of like the title card, or it's got Cassie doing the ballet pose in the costume
probably.
or whatever. So he's going to pull that out and lay it on the table and then just roll it out so that Crystal can see it.
Do you... I know I've asked you this a lot, but would you like to roll another insight?
Sure.
It won't be a very high bar. That's still a nat 1.
That's like my third nat 1!
Roll it again. We're not taking that.
I'm going to curse it. Better. I can deal with a 17. Oh dear. 3 nat 1s in 1 FPS. Good God.
Sorry, I was just answering something from housemate.
It's all good.
17. God, I'm just looking at your message. It seemed to work.
It seemed to
somewhat.
work. Somewhat. It's not a nat 20, but, you know, I will take a 17.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't a very high bar. I mean, I was gonna say unless you get a nat 1. The expression on her face when you roll out and she's just perceiving this poster is there is a look of pride on her face. Sort of not just sister pride, but like maybe one that Chifley is a little bit familiar with, but having raised your sister for a little bit,
Mm.
sort of look
Mm-hmm.
there. And like, sorry, brain derailed for a moment.
Yeah, you're right.
But yeah, like the look of like definitely sisterly pride, but also this is someone I helped raise pride, and oh my god, look at her, and also yeah, like a lot of sadness that she missed it, and this is her fault for the argument and not staying in contact, and she missed her first performance and she'll never get that moment again.
Mm. Chif's gonna give Crystal a few moments to absorb this glorious poster, and then he's just gonna sort of slide it over a little bit closer. You can keep this.
And she blinks at you. Oh, thanks. Thank you. May not have been the most hospitable today, but thank you for coming on her behalf.
It was not an easy conversation, I know. But on the other hand, Cassie and Dorian and you are the only family that my sister and I have left. So I'm glad to now know all three of you.
Yeah. I'm glad to meet you too. She holds out a hand.
Handshake! Family handshake!
I still got some work to do.
Mm-hmm. But Chifley seems relatively satisfied. Like, he doesn't know what the hell all that nonsense was, but it was something medical. But, yeah. But I think he will probably sip his tea a little bit. And then, I don't know, would they make small talk or just awkwardly awkwardly drink their tea?
I think knowing these two, they would probably awkwardly drink their tea.
Just sit there in silence, sip the tea. And then
Chifley can make a perception around the house
okay,
apartment if you would like.
I
I
would
can
love
just
to do
give you
that.
some flavor stuff.
That sounds fun. Let's do that. Average. I can deal with average.
Yeah, I mean, it sure looks like an apartment.
Mm-hmm.
I with that 10, you can't tell that it's been recently renovated,
Mm-hmm.
but you do spot the bookshelf full of lots of books with titles that most of them you can't pronounce. There's a second-hand keyboard in one corner of the room.
Uh-huh.
And in the other there's you think it's a nest? You're not sure. It's a pile of stuff.
Oh, dear, oh dear.
Yep.
I love knowing things that Chifley doesn't.
You don't know she has a housemate. Sometimes.
Yeah. God damn. Oh dear. I think there might be one or two pieces of small talk, but I think largely they'll just sit there awkwardly, drink their tea, and then Chifley will stand up and give a kind of tired sounding farewell, and then make his way towards the door.
Yeah, I think Crystal will let him out again. sort of awkward, like, yes, thank you for coming round. Thank you, um, for kicking my butt about the, not in those words, but yeah.
Yes, yeah. But the vibe is there. Do you want to roll a perception as he's departing the apartment complex?
Sure. 13.
All right.
Average.
Average.
A little bit above average.
It's good enough because, like, when you've just met somebody, you kind of pay a little bit more attention to them, I guess, to keep a beat on them or what have you. But as Chifley sort of, he says his goodbye and he steps out of the apartment, with a 13, Crystal can catch a little hint of Chifley pulling something else out of his hammer space, and I'm not going to roll for it because I've decided no. And he just sort of, it looks like a blue wand of some sort, and he just sort of taps it against his shoulder, and Crystal knows enough about magic that he's just cast Cure Wounds on himself.
Yep.
Like the rest of his hit points will go away, but like he actually took physical damage from that headache, but like he's just like, I'm just gonna quickly tap. That feels a lot better.
Yeah, I think once things have maybe been sorted out between Cassie and Crystal a little bit more and she's not immediately concerned about that, her attention might be turning to you, Chifley.
Well, he'll probably have been to the doctor by then.
She might be snooping.
That's fine. The more people to give him a kick up the bum, the better.
Yup. But you're a family now.
Yup.
And this is what she does.
Oh, dear. Oh, that was
sorry,
fun.
not sorry.
Well, that was entertaining.
Yeah,
I enjoyed
that was good fun.
Ah, the lore. I love lore.
I had a lot of fun with the lore drops today. Got some lore on both sides.
Yup. I haven't had that lore come up for Chif before. It's like I actually had to go into my deep lore documents for that one.
Oh boy. Yeah. No, I was very concerned about that. Alright, should we say goodbye and end the recording?
We should. Thank you everyone for listening. Hope you enjoyed that lore as much as we did. Bye-bye.
Yeah, have fun. Bye.